Good morning, social media world. Today's video for trainers, presenters, workshop facilitators is called Do the Boring Thing. Do the boring thing. Now, here's the deal, folks. A lot of trainers, presenters, coaches, facilitators will refuse to learn the basics around teaching, which kind of fascinates me. It's kind of unusual. Or it's like, I'm going to build a house, but I refuse to learn how to use a hammer. All right, I'm going to build a house, but I refuse to learn how to use a hammer. Now, two of the core skills of teaching are scaffolding and chunking. Scaffolding and chunking. If you don't know what scaffolding is, basically that is about creating a framework and also the ability to increase difficulty levels gradually so that nobody ever collapses and feels like what they're about to go through or what they're learning is beyond them. Now, the other skill is chunking. And essentially, chunking is the idea of packaging information together so that it is easily memorable and retainable for the listener, the learner, the audience member. Now, I'm just going to move over here to get away from the noise. Now, the thing is, though, a lot of people go, oh, Steve Jobs talks about the rule of three. Oh, the rule of three, that's a great idea. I might think about the rule of three. But then they don't use it. And it fascinates me. I don't understand why you don't use the rule of three. It's kind of fascinating. Now, this was all sparked by a couple of days ago. I had a participant in my workshop that when we were doing the debrief, and a debrief is simply asking the learners, what's the biggest thing you've discovered or realized or has stood out to you so far? And this participant said, oh, Mark, I love how you package things together in groups of 4. And I'm like, cool, thank you. And then later I thought, but doesn't everyone package things in groups of 4? And I started to realize, no, they don't. I started to realize most trainers, facilitators, coaches, and mentors will often speak, but not actually chunk information together in bits of information that people can easily remember. And it made me a little bit sad because I thought, how many audience members are out there listening to dribble or listening to a conscious stream of information, but not able to remember what they're actually being told because it's not packaged together? So here's the deal, folks. If you want to get better at delivering your content in a memorable way, you have to learn to actually chunk appropriately. And as much as possible, I really encourage you, if you've got like 50 things that you need to share it in bite-sized bits, like top 3 or top 4 or the first 4, then the next 4, then the next 4, then the next 4, right? And that allows the brain to receive the information and actually take on what they've been taught. So if you come to my workshops, you're going to learn the 3 pillars to effective delivery. You're going to learn the 3 pillars to effective assessment. You're going to learn the 3 stages of getting over your nervousness. You're going to learn the 4 stages to learning something. You're going to learn all these different key chunks that essentially are easy for me to remember, but also easy for the learners to remember. And it's a really great way to just package content together. Notice also on any YouTube video you watch, whoa, it's the top 3 things, it's the top 4 mistakes, it's the top 6 or the top 7, right? And with chunking, you never want to go over 7 because it's too much for the brain. But rule of 3 is where it's at. So again, as a trainer, presenter, coach, facilitator, mentor, please use the rule of 3. If you're not, I guess my question to you is why? Because essentially that's how the brain receives information, so that's probably how you should say it. And you can have your top 1 or your top 2, your top 3, but look to package information together in bite-sized bits, and then you're going to find it so much more memorable for the listener, and they'll be able to quote the top 3 things back to you. What a crazy idea to actually remember it, right? So anyway, folks, I just wanted to share, as a trainer, as a facilitator, just do the boring. And the boring is the scaffolding and the chunking. And don't try and build a house without studying how to use a hammer. Please don't. On that note, folks, hope you got some value from the video. Do the boring, learn to chunk chunk more appropriately, and chunk as often as you can. Thanks for watching, team. We'll see you on the next one.